Nice and warm. Golden brown. Hey, we're gonna do a giveaway in about 20 minutes, guys. 20 minutes giveaway? 1:30. 1:30, right?
We gotta challenge you. I'm not like one of those. I like that.
I've never worked at one of those pretzel places, though. I've never actually done this. Like, I'm thinking right now how I'm gonna bend this. You bring it over and then you twist it and then it comes down, right? Okay. This is awesome.
Like seriously, after I finished mine, I was hoping I had another extra toothpick left over just to try to mess around like that. Well, I haven't had it right now. I have like an old 5-year-old alien food, and I was about to start like piecing it together right next to me. And so I've been thinking of liquid cool, and then I saved. I'm like, why is something hard? It's a lot of fun. Like sometimes when you're putting it in water or anything, it seems like
I'm good. Thanks.
Okay, so what happened is we had to cut off all the stream, and we're going back up again. There's a lot. I'll tell you about it later. Anytime when they have questions, direct them to stand up to the mic so they can talk into it.
Okay.
Okay? Just say, hey guys, sorry, we're back again. I'm Mike. Again.
Welcome back, guys. I'm here with Thermal Mike. My name's Anthony. I'm from ABS Computers, and just getting back into the swing of things with some water cooling. We had a pretty good little suggestion here for our next bend. Do you want to go ahead and tell us what your suggestion was again, man?
It was a pretzel knot.
A pretzel knot.
We're gonna get a pretzel.
This is gonna be so much fun.
Anyone hungry?
Anybody hungry? They got pretzels over there.
Honestly, man, since you turned on
great-
that heat
it's a great
gun,
price,
I've
so-
been hungry.
So I know, right? So it comes, let's see, it comes up and around like this. All right, let me get my other glove on.
This is history right here. First water-cooled pretzel.
Kind of bring it back around. They're saying I gotta twist it, right?
Yep, it's got a twist at the center. There you go. Oh, you said one twist is okay.
Oh, okay, just one twist?
Yeah, you can do just one.
Well, that is, well, I guess no, it comes right, yeah. Just like the ones at the mall, right? Let me see if I can get the tubing the right.
I think probably the most difficult thing here is actually working against the silicone tubing because it is pretty rigid. Yeah, it just always wants to straighten itself back out. Which on that note is actually something really good to remember when you're bending your tubing. If you're bending it by hand and you go for that 90, if you don't wait for it to fully finish, that silicone will actually push it a little bit back up. Yep.
Yeah, it's pretty simple. I mean, you can make almost anything with this stuff. I mean, I've spelled letters out, but the only trick to it is holding it. Once you get that shape or that bend in here, being able to keep it and hold it in that position. But, you know, again, one of the cool things about this stuff is that, say, like one side was maybe a little weird or whatever, just reheat it. Just put the heat gun back on it, especially if you do it right away, because it's already like warm. So it's not like you're doing like a cold start. You know, because it'll pretty much be rigid and still be a little warm.
Settled. All you gotta do is just a little bit of heat. You're all good. How are we looking there?
I think we're doing pretty good. I'm trying to even get this little wrap around here, you know, to make it look like the little pretzel
salted
action.
pretzel. Oh, you know what he just pointed out? We should have done it with this guy.
Well, we could have, yeah, I would have taken longer though.
Yeah.
We don't have to make a super pretzel.
That would have been a giant pretzel.
He didn't ask for a giant pretzel.
That's true. That's
very true.
It wasn't specified what kind of pretzel. Yeah, definitely.
But you know what's awesome though is that this will just basically cool and be there, and that's it.
Now, just out of curiosity for myself, how tough do you think it would be getting a silicone insert out of a bend like this, where we've gone through so many extra bends?
We're going to see what it's going to be like, especially since it's right on the wall of the tubing.
Yeah, because I have noticed some bends are a little bit more tricky than others to get that insert back out of.
But you get a little flexibility with the tube too. I kind of put my hand on here. It's kind of cooling it off, you know, with my hand. Don't dip it in water. We're not blacksmithing here, folks. Right? I mean, and it's not that it will crack or anything per se. It's just, it's better to have it just naturally cool.
Yeah.
Don't rush it. You don't want to rush a good thing.
Patience.
No, it's not helping. Yeah, so you know, while we're letting this cool here, I just want to take a big shout out to our sponsors for you know, of course, BlizzCon here at the Anaheim Convention Center, Intel, ASUS for helping us with our motherboard and our GPU combo that we have over here. Of course, Newegg TV and Newegg and ABS, you know, for letting us be here, and then me being my thermal mic, thermal take. We do really appreciate a lot of the Newegg guys letting us come out here and show some cool stuff. So I'm just getting this almost, because I really want, it's got to look good.
Yeah, of course.
It's almost done though. I mean,
Should I find some salt?
I'm pretty close to making kind of like yeah, right? It's almost there. It's almost there.
Yeah, there you go. Old school pretzel.
Are you guys running this?
Oh, that's going on over there.
Where?
Behind you.
They told me to come here.
Oh, they told you to come here? Nice. Let's do stamping on the stream right now.
Yeah.
Live stamping here at BlizzCon
Bring that stamp.
2016. So here's going to be the fun part. So I can just take this. Now you'd be like, oh, dude, what are you going to do, right?
Yeah.
So,
like the silicone is coming out
but look,
right against the other two.
I can still push it a little bit this way.
All right. It's got some play.
See, it's going to be a tough one. But it's moving. There it goes.
I am impressed. There we go.
Here you go. Here's your pretzel. It's nice and it's fresh out of the oven.
Fresh.
But yeah, no, I mean, one of the great things about PETG tubing is just being able to have that option to do lots of cool stuff. And with the tubing, the fittings, and the products that we have and everything, we want to also offer a cooling solution too. So Thermaltake's come out with a series of coolants as well that we're going to be bringing up here on stage. We're going to kind of shift gears here a little bit on the coolant. I think we have something to give away.
I think we do too.
Do we have a giveaway? Is it giveaway time?
Let's see. Is it that
Is it giveaway
yet?
time? Let's see.
Yeah, it's
What are we
giveaway
looking at?
o'clock.
No,
All right.
Getting there. Okay.
Let's see what we got here. Oh.
I'd do it. You think so? Yeah.
Yeah. All right. One of my favorites. We got a set of TT Premium Ring 120 millimeter fans. Now, Mike was just going over these earlier. These are their new software controlled ones. They are really, really nice. I have at least 2 sets of these in my PC at home, and it's just really, really convenient just to change fan speeds, lighting, all of that, just from the software base.
And the great part about this too is this is a 3-pack. So basically if you're doing anything from either single fan or you're going to be doing it like on a radiator or even like a 240 radiator and you want that extra one for the back, 3-pack's the way to go. And it comes with a controller, all the cables that plug in, and you know what the best part is with the premium ones? We actually double the length
Oh,
of
I
the
forgot
cable.
about that. Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
Solved so many problems with like trying to find a spot to put the controller. You can basically put it anywhere you want now.
Yeah,
it's a ton of cable.
and that's what we wanted to bring with the premium line, was being able to offer that longer cable, and of course the controller that is no longer needed to actually do a physical button change, like you'd see with our first gen ring fans here. With this, with the software control, it allows you to change each fan individually. I mean, you can pick red, white, and blue for your 3 colors, or anything in between, and change it very easily at any time with the software. It also gives you
super convenient.
You get temperature readings, you get RPM readings, you can be able to adjust the fan speeds individually. So like fan 1, 2, and 3 can actually be in 3 different settings. So if you have your full PC like environment going on, and you want more here, less here, to get that balance of sound and performance, I mean, the premium ring fans is the only choice.
Yeah, another cool feature I found when I was messing around with the software is it was while I was still putting everything together, and I actually happened to go up, rub up against one of the fans and stop it, and the software actually told me that the fan had stopped. I mean, I haven't really seen that too often before. That's pretty cool. Like, if my fan is no longer working, something happened. I haven't had one die on me yet, but I mean, if something were to happen, just having that software tell you, hey, this fan is no longer spinning, that's a really nice feature to have.
It's a great pop-up that can happen too, and we're also going to be expanding on this software, so just a little bit to look at. If you're looking to get these soon, or you already have them, we have some updated software versions. We just came out with 2.0.2, I believe, just the other day, and we're going to also be looking into some mobile options for this too. So that way, if you have your PC, maybe you're at home, you kind of walk away for a little bit, you leave your system on the whole time, you know, you can have that app telling you, hey, something's going on. And I also want to expand on that just a little bit too on our power supply line. That right there is our new 650 digital power supply. So that's a digital power supply, meaning it hooks up to your motherboard and it gives you readings. It allows you to know how many watts you're actually using on your system. Idle, in game, benchmarking, gives you a real good perspective on knowing where you're at with your wattage, if your power supply is being maxed out, or if it's barely getting a break. You know, it just doesn't know. And it also has warning options in there too, same thing with the fan fails, or if you have any type of power issues, we have the same type of options combined there with the software on the power supplies as well.
If I'm not mistaken, that is a semi-modular power supply too, correct?
So how do we want to do a giveaway on this?
Giveaway,
What do we want to do?
I don't know. Are we just gonna make everyone jump around and then just throw it out there, or
How about
to the death?
okay, how about we do this? For our folks that are sitting here hanging out, this is for you guys, okay? So Anthony's gonna think of a number between 1 and 20.
35.
See, he's on top of things. He's on top of things, folks. So
right.
You're gonna think of a number. 1 through 20, that's cool, right?
I got it.
You can, okay.
Got it.
Okay, so what I'm gonna do is for our people that we got sitting down here, I'm gonna point at you, you tell me a number, and he's gonna look either happy or sad. And then if nobody gets it, whoever's the closest wins.
Okay.
Deal?
Sounds great.
All right, 1 to 20. No. No. 16? No. 9.
Hey.
Whoa, winner,
right on the
winner. You want to come on up here?
Pretty close.
Oh, here you go. Hey, thanks so much.
Bring him on.
Oh. All right. So we done a quick little giveaway. We gave some cooling fans here. You know, we
Yep.
want to keep everybody cool. I mean, that's the whole point of us being here, right?
Yeah, I'm
so,
cool. You're cool.
We got a bigger raffle coming up.
Yeah,
Even
we
more?
do. We got some more goodies.
Even
so,
more stuff we're gonna give away?
Yeah, definitely hang around.
How are we going to do this? Are we going to go to a commercial break? Okay, so we're going to take a quick commercial break here at BlizzCon 2016. We'll come back, and we'll have some more raffle prizes, and then we're going to jump into some liquid cooling. So stay tuned.
Hey, welcome back, guys. I'm Anthony from ABS Computers, and I'm here with my buddy Thermal Mike, going over some cool water cooling. Now, during our break, we actually had a couple questions from online, and that was, let's see here, favorite types of RGB fittings and fans. Well, my personal opinion is Thermaltake. I mean, I love these RGB fittings. You can find them on Newegg.com, and then along with their Thermaltake ring fans, the new TT Premium software-controlled fans just work amazing. I love the performance. They look great. And I believe you guys went with a whole new fan blade design as well. I was pretty impressed with that.
Thank you. Yeah, we came out with a new fan blade design for our new ring fans there. And of course, yeah, like the question he said, Thermaltake fittings would definitely be my favorite too. I mean, of course, I've gotten to work very closely with our fitting line. I mean, we have over 100 SKUs of fittings at Newegg.com alone.
Tons and tons of options.
So you can get lots of options, and it's also available in 2 colors. So we offer it in both either a black or a chrome finish, depending on what you're looking for. For example, like our P3 over here, I went with a black fitting to give it that red and black type of look. I mean, just to give it that real deep, rich look.
Yep.
And I mean, you can do the same thing with lighter colors using the chrome fittings, or whatever's gonna work best for you. Now, we have our coolant out here.
Oh, one sec, Mike. I think we might have had one more question. And that
we have another question?
Yeah, that one was directed to you, so that's why I
Okay,
waited.
no problem.
What would you say is the hardest part of actually going through and doing a full open loop?
Oh, man. So,
in your opinion?
I would say the hardest part for me is kind of planning out what I'm gonna do. What is it that I'm gonna put in for the system, and then how am I gonna plan out what's all gonna fit? I mean, a lot of the stuff that we kind of talked about early on was, what's my chassis gonna be able to fit, so that way all the goodies that I wanna pour into it, what is it that's gonna work, and it's gonna line everything up. Once I get the motherboard in, my hard drive, I'm all ready to go. I don't want to have any issues. I want to make sure everything fits properly. So I would say fitment.
Yeah, so basically coming back to like that pre-planning,
Yeah.
not just the section to where you have all your parts and you're just staring there at an empty case,
Yeah.
figuring out what you want to do with it, but also the leading up to it, picking which parts you want, what's going to work best in this location, and what's going to be the most efficient.
Yeah, because I mean, a lot of times there's a lot to look at, a lot to think about. I mean, I've worked with a lot of great people in the community, that give me a list. Hey, this is what I want to do, Thermal Mike. Is this going to work for me? Well, what are you putting it into? What's it going to work? Is it going to fit your budget? So, there's a lot of things that can be, a big part of it just the same. But, I mean, if you want everything to work, you want to definitely think about that, probably the most important. Then I think your next thing would be budget. How much you want to spend there.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, graphic cards have come down to a very good price.
Yeah.
I've definitely liked what NVIDIA's done with their pricing.
I do too.
Gotta be happy with that.
Yeah.
And once you get your core components, like motherboard, CPU, hard drive, RAM, what you're gonna figure out and what you're gonna do with your liquid cooling, then you gotta make sure everything's gonna fit in that case that you're gonna wanna put it in. Same with the motherboard, just the same too. If you're gonna go with a large motherboard or small form factor, it kinda depends. You can jam liquid cooling into pretty small little boxes, and it looks really cool.
Yeah, it does. It does.
So we've come out with a series of coolant line. This is our new Opaque coolant from Thermaltake. This coolant right here is a longevity coolant, so it means it lasts in your system. I mean, we basically recommend to flush the system once every 12 months. Some other coolants that you'll see on the market might not be the same. A lot of them will actually lose a lot of, I would say their colorant and everything within only a short period of a few months, even less than that sometimes. So Thermaltake went and we dived deep to find the great solution that we have called the Opaque coolant, to be able to offer a solid color solution. So I mean, yeah, I know this looks like your favorite 2% milk for your cereal and all.
Just about to say.
But it's very, it's still, even though this looks solid, it's very, I guess you would say liquidy or just liquefied.
Yeah.
It flows very well. It doesn't get stuck in stuff. It doesn't clog. It doesn't cause problems. It works with several different types of metals too. One of the most important things with your coolant and your whole liquid cooling system, you can build a beautiful system, but if you put the wrong coolant in there, or the coolant that you mix, you don't put the right additives and stuff, you could destroy your whole system. Then you're tearing everything apart, washing it, scrubbing it out. Nobody wants to do that.
Yep, gotta do it right the first time.
So getting it right the first time, this is a pre-mixed solution. You don't need to add anything. Don't need to add any biocides. You don't need kill coils, nothing. This will work great right out of the bottle, and that's what we wanted to offer. So that way you can just take this stuff, put it in and go. And we're gonna be doing that here at the end of the show. We're gonna be taking our P3 red over here with our tempered glass front panel, and we're gonna be putting some coolant in there.
Yep.
Everybody get a nice little show, getting to see the coolant running and flowing in the system
So
here for the
satisfying.
very first time. I mean, we got firsties on the
yeah.
P3.
Yeah, there's a couple firsts that we're going to be doing here today with this.
We are.
Yeah.
Now, I got like, the tubing, the colors. So we have, orange, red, purple, blue, green, yellow, and white. This is our first start of our new Opaque coolant, and I got a special surprise to show everybody here towards the end that I think a lot of people will be really, really interested in.
I'm excited.
Yeah, me too. Me too. So with our coolant colors, I mean, being able to have a variety of different colors, especially common colors, you can take this coolant and you can put it straight up. Like, I mean, if I look at my P3 system, red might be an obvious choice for me to put in there. But maybe it's not that red. Or maybe it's a blue color, and it's a lighter blue color. And you want to do like a sky blue, and just get something that's going to match, the motherboard that you buy, or the graphics card cooler that you bought,
That happens a lot. I mean, you'll try to put together a PC with all the same color scheme, and then later you find out everything's varying different shades, and it's not the same.
Yeah. So with a lot of that, you can take coolant just like this, because it's a pre-mixed solution. It's not a concentrate, so you can kind of mix and do what you want. So if I take say some blue here, pour some blue into here.
It's time for some science.
So we got some mana going right here.
All right.
And say we want to lighten it up a little bit. So taking like a white and pouring the white in there. I mean, do a little bit at a time and then kind of just stir it up a little bit. And you can get it lighter and lighter. Less blue, more white, depending on what you want to do. Because you have to think, you want to make and mix a good amount, more than what you have, because that way you have extra and it's all the same color. You don't want to get stuck mixing a custom color and then be like out just that little bit, and you got to match it perfect, right?
Yep.
Now you can do the same thing here with the white. Now if I take the white and I put the white in here, or I put the blue in first, I mean, you'll see that with this blue is a very rich color. It's a solid color. So with something like that, it's not going to change that much. But then if you take like a white base, because most colors are going to be a white base like this, and then you put a little bit of blue in here, and then I can mix this up, and then I can get it more of like a light blue, like a sky blue, and be able to change the colors around and get something unique, something custom, that a whole DIY feel is, to be able to get something interesting like that.
So basically from here, it's more starting with the base color that you're looking for. If you're looking for a lighter blue, start with the white. If you're looking for a darker light blue, start with the blue.
Yeah, whatever seems to work best for, like what you want to do. I mean, people will have different colors, they'll do different things, they'll have different ways they'll want to do stuff. And I mean, like, say you want to make, like your own color, right? So like, we'll take ketchup and mustard, for example. Okay, right?
Cool.
So we want to do like a little ketchup and mustard. Now red is going to be really dominant. Red is a really rich color, one of the richest colors out of the bunch, because it's just, that's the way red rolls.
Yep.
Solid. So we'll take some red and we'll put some red in here. Don't put too much because we just want to do a little bit of demo. And then we take some yellow and we kind of put the yellow in here. You'll see that it'll start turning orange, so that you can get like an orange color. Like if you don't want an orange like this exactly, you want something that's more of like a blood orange. Now you can mix two colors together, get a little bit darker of an orange. And then say you want to go back and you want to add more red to it, and get it to be more like a crimson blood orange, stuff like that. You can get and make cool little colors just by getting two different things, mix them together. A lot of stuff where you can lighten stuff as well. Get some white, get some color, and then you can just make your own custom color too. It's real easy to use, and the great thing is once this is mixed like this, I can pour it right into the system.
That's awesome. Nothing else you have to do.
There's really nothing else that you need to do. I mean, and then
just mix and go.
One of the best parts, at least I like, is that, I build my system, I put all this time in, I do all the tube work and everything, and I'm like, okay, let's throw red in there. Maybe a couple months go down the road, I'm kind of bored of red now. Maybe I want to go different color or something.
I've been there. I'm on my second coolant swap.
See, it happens. Everybody will get to be like, oh, that red looks really cool, but maybe I want to go green now.
Yeah.
Or change it up or something like that. I mean, the great thing about these systems is you can just take like distilled water. I don't know if that has some distilled water in it or something.
Right there.
You just take some just regular distilled water, couple of flushes in the system, draining the system out, where you can get the most out of the system, drain the radiator. Most radiators, especially like our Thermaltake ones, have a drain plug on the bottom. So you can just take that off, boom, flows out. The P3 is amazing for that.
Yeah.
And then being able to fill it with distilled water, flush it through the system, maybe about a good 3 times, give it a little bit of time as it's kind of running, get all the little nooks and crannies, you'll pretty much get back to a clear liquid. Then you'll be pretty much reset to go any other way you want to go. You know, be able to change the coolant, or if you're just doing basic maintenance, you know, and kind of just looking at everything, you know, seeing how stuff goes out. But yeah, word to everybody at home and here at BlizzCon, don't use tap water. Very important. Distilled water is a must. You have to use this stuff. And I mean, you can take this and even mix it with this a little bit too, if you need a little bit more. Just don't go too crazy on it and everything, because it is a pre-mixed solution. It's not really, you know, option to be like a one-to-one expansion on it. Because
And if I really love my PC, can I just buy a bunch of bottles of the Fiji water?
well, no, the
I'm just
Fiji water,
joking,
yeah, I
I'm just
know.
joking.
As good as that stuff is, thanks to our Fiji sponsors. that,
But the
you know,
best.
You know, with that, I mean, yeah, you can mix it up and you can do some really cool stuff. I mean, even stuff like when you see like this green right here. I mean, this green itself, yeah, you got the, it's gonna be kind of hard to see, but green has a natural UV reactant to it. So, you know, you want that atomic green, this will give you that atomic green. And one of the cool things about the opaque coolant, besides just the performance and the aspects of it, is that when it's in the tubes and it's running, it doesn't look like it's moving.
Yep.
I mean, it almost looks like the tube is that color versus saying, hey, I got coolant in there. I mean, I've gone to shows and I've had people say, oh, those are some cool red tubes. And I'm like, dude, those are clear tubes.
Yep.
I got red coolant in there. It's like, no way. Because I can fill the reservoir up all the way and it doesn't even look like anything's moving. It kind of blows people's
generally
mind.
The first assumption is just, yeah, they're colored tubes. And kind of bringing things back to full circle, one thing I noticed with my build, because I'm actually swapping out to this one, is if I switch my LEDs for the LED fittings to blue or purple, it actually kind of works like a black light for that coolant, which is
That's
pretty
awesome.
nice. It basically just ends up glowing. And I mean, you can, if you have any other LEDs in your PC, shut them all off, just leave it looking like you have radioactive coolant flowing through your PC. It's kind of cool. Yeah.
And you know, we're not going to stop there here at Thermaltake. I mean, this is just the beginning for our coolant line. We have some new coolants that are going to be down the road here, so stay tuned for that. And of course, it will definitely all be available at Newegg.com once we have our shipments here in the US. Now, we've talked about the LED fittings, but since you brought them up, I kind of want to just bring it back. We got some new people that are down here, you know, some other people probably online and stuff. And you know, hey, do we have any online questions? Anybody asking online, got any hot topics? But these are our RGB fittings. So these actually have 8 LEDs that are actually shining into the tubing. And then these are allowed to be able to change the color. I have a simple controller here that I can just push the button and change the color from blue to orange, yellow, purple. And this gives you a little bit more of an option. And you know what, it's a bad example because we're on TV. You know, you gotta have the awesome lights, right? But at night, changes everything. And I mean, you know, that's what Thermaltake's all about, bringing that RGB family back to PC building. You know, being able to offer you RGB fittings, RGB fans, RGB keyboards, RGB mice, you know, the whole 9 yards, mouse pads and everything. We're all about RGB. So with these right here, something as simple as this, even with bends, as you'll see, still get a good amount of light bleed through them, and it's a cool little offset option that you can do.
I was really impressed with how far the light travels through this. I mean, it's not something you would have expected even with all the bends, but it really does kind of use that outer wall as like a fiber optic line.
Yeah, it is. I mean, the tubing...
It travels really, really far. I was really, really impressed with that. I was kind of expecting, you know, it to get maybe up to like almost there, but not really meet in the center, but...
Yeah, because you would think that it's only going to go to about like right here and not actually travel almost into the middle. I mean, you can see it even in the light, you know, that it goes all the way through. I mean, it could probably go a little bit longer, but then it depends on the bends that you do. I mean, if you do straight shots, you'll get a lot more, you know, you'll get
more light saturation,
a little bit more reach.
Yeah.
A little bit more reach.
And I mean, you can really do some pretty cool combos with just different colors from the LEDs and then different colors with the coolant. Like right now I'm running translucent green with blue LEDs. And like I was saying earlier, it really gives it that like glowing type effect. And
then again, the best part about having a DIY system, you can change it. You can expand it, tear it apart, refix it. So you know those guys out there, like me and Anthony, for the most part, is, you know, you build a system and then you're like, oh, okay, it's done, it looks great. Okay, I want to tear it apart and upgrade it, or I want to do something else to it.
I got more plans for it.
Yeah, same here.
Time for another card.
So I would do the same thing, man. You know, take the tubes out and everything, drain it, swap out some parts. I mean, the great part about it is once you have your baseline set up, I mean, you can just take the tubes out and then redo them with a new motherboard, new graphics card, you upgrade, you don't got to throw all that away. You can still use that same radiator, that same pump, just make new tubes for it, and boom, transferred from one system to the other. You got a simple upgrade, and now it's half the cost because you already invested in it early with the first part.
Yeah. I mean, like you said earlier, the tubing isn't really expensive. The thing where you're going to spend most of your money is going to be the pump, the blocks, and the radiators, and sometimes the fans. But I mean, fans you can generally get for a pretty good price most places. It's not too much of a problem. But yeah, like that tubing, it's really cheap.
Hey, you guys got any questions for us or anything? Guys down in the audience? Yeah, the microphone's right there, man. Yeah.
Forgot about
no,
that.
no worries. Make sure it's on. Are we good?
Yeah, I see that the bottles are kind of stained. Does that happen inside the system? Like the water bottles get stained over time, or can you just wash it out?
So yeah, with the coolant, as long as you don't let the coolant, and he had a good question too, because the one thing a lot of people look at with coolant is like, okay, is that gonna stain and screw everything up, right? Now, with any coolant, especially DIY stuff when you do it, the one big problem, so I guess some people would have is letting it sit off for a long period of time. I mean, say you go on a vacation, right? 2 weeks to Fiji. You're like, yeah, that's great. But then you come back to your PC and you're worried about it. You're like, dude, did my coolant, did everything explode?
I've been there.
The coolant,
Definitely
so I mean,
been there.
I recently went to Computex, for the company back in June. I was gone for 2 weeks. I had orange coolant in my system. I came back and I had a little bit of a residue, which was a little, because of this being a solid color, it does have like a little bit of a white powder looking material that you have on there. But once I fired my system up, within about 20 to 30 seconds, it all just kind of molded back, mixed back up and was good to go. I don't see clogging issues with this over long periods of time. I don't see issues with this staining as much, but one thing red will.
Red
Red
stains
will
everything.
always stain. I mean, if you use white, you can pretty much rinse those tubes out, but you will get a little bit of a residue depending on how long a time it is. I mean, once you rinse that tube out, it'll be pretty clean. But once it dries, it might look like it's stained or it has like a white type of film to it per se. But once you put it back in and you run the coolant through, you'll be amazed that it just looks fine. But a lot of people can see that and go, oh, dude, it's all stained. I can't do it. Oh, I got to make a new piece. I got to start all over.
Hey, I'm not too opposed. That's half the fun right there. Time to do a new crazy bend.
and I mean, that's the same kind of thing too, is that you do this stuff, say you want to change the coolant out 6 months, 12 months, whatever, and everything, you're probably going to want to be like, hey, I could have bent that one piece maybe a little bit better.
Yep.
Or maybe I want to change this up and I want to put a corkscrew in there because I saw Thermal Mike doing it at BlizzCon 2016.
Maybe you want to lay one of these guys down, just horizontally and make a little roller coaster.
And the cool thing is just getting that look. So I think what we're going to do now is let's take a break.
Okay.
We're going to come back. We're going to come back with the P3. We're going to get this prepped up, and we're going to fill it with coolant, and we're going to get it fired up here for the first time here at BlizzCon 2016. So hey, stay tuned, everybody. We'll be right back.
what's up, guys?
Hey, all right, we're back. BlizzCon 2016 here at the Newegg booth, Anaheim Convention Center. How's everybody doing? Woo! So we've been talking about liquid cooling for, gosh, what, like a couple hour and a half now or something like that? Trying to cover some stuff, you know, show some neat things. And, you know, we got some cool little things in store for everybody. So we want to talk about, we talked about some cooling, we've mixed some colors, you know, we've done some tube bending. You know, we made a pretzel for somebody. I mean, somebody was
A pretzel, that was really fun.
And, you know, they got pretzels over there. So I could definitely see why he was hungry and he wanted
Custom
that pretzel.
pretzel. Well, dude, after you started that heat gun.
Dude, custom pretzel. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
Everybody
yeah.
needs pretzels. So we have our Core P3 system here. Again, you know, for people that maybe just tuning in or walking by, this is our new Core P3 Red Edition. So adding on to our Core P3 series and the Core P5 series, we have the Core P3 now in red. It's also available in black, white, and green. And with this one here, if you saw a little bit earlier, we've taken off our tempered glass front panel. So Anthony, if you want to bring that up here, just to kind of show people what's in store. So for the holiday season, Thermaltake is offering to bring in a new tempered glass upgrade kits and options for the case. Oh, you just love that sound of the tempered glass.
Yeah.
Comes with a nice smoked cover, so it doesn't like cover it completely. I would say it gives it a nice little tint to it.
I actually have found that I really prefer the tinted, that smoked kind of tint to the glass, just because when it's off, there's a chance where you might not see it as much, and then you turn it on, and all those LEDs turn on.
Everything comes alive.
Bam, yeah, it looks
Everything
gorgeous.
comes alive.
Yeah.
And it gives you that nice shadowed look when the system's off. It looks really clean.
Yeah, and then if you have a ton of LEDs, it kind of diffuses it a little bit.
So these glass panels right here will be offering, they have a full rubber grommet that actually goes through the glass. This is also 5mm thick, did you know?
Wow, no, that's really good.
It's a lot thicker than most glass out there in the market, so we've been trying to come out with a nice, sturdy, solid solution for people looking to get a tempered glass treatment for their system. And I mean, I gotta say, it looks really good.
Yeah, and I mean, I love the fact that you really don't have to worry as much about that glass. 5mm is a lot of glass.
It gives you a nice good thickness for it. And the great part about it is you don't have to buy any crazy expensive upgrade stuff for it. The same exact posts, the same exact little connections that screw into there perfectly work just the same. You're just basically getting the glass and swapping the glass out.
That's awesome.
Really, like 10-minute upgrade.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest, most other cases I see, if you want to switch out to tempered glass, generally there's a little bit of modding you're gonna have to do.
Yeah, the little parts, you gotta figure out what goes where.
It's not that straightforward. I mean, this is just 4 screws. I think that's pretty simple.
Now I got another big thing I want to talk about.
All right.
So, we all know a lot of you guys out there, you've been loving our Core P series and a lot of our products that are offering a riser cable solution. So, you know, we got our View 27, we got our G3, we got our P5, our P3. We're not gonna stop there. So we've had this riser cable. We've had some people that have had some concerns. We've taken that feedback. I mean, I appreciate all the love from everybody being able to give me the feedback on our riser cables here so we can make it better. And for that, I want to introduce our new TT Premium riser cable. Now this is a new riser cable that we're going to be having available here the holiday season. This riser cable is twice as strong, twice as durable, and offers way more improvements with performance.
Yeah. All right, well, really quick, Mike, I think we went over this a little bit earlier, but we just had a question from one of our online viewers, and they want to know what's the real difference between liquid cooling and air cooling? Like, what are some of the benefits? What are some of the cons?
Okay, well, I would definitely say, you know, air cooling solution definitely comes into a lot of the budget side.
Yes, sir.
So if you're looking for a straightforward build, you're not planning to maybe overclock or go extreme, you know, an air cooler solution would fit for you just as well.
It works perfectly fine, yeah.
I mean, you can save a lot of money with that. Maybe that's also a starting point for you. You know, you want to build your system up. Maybe you want to start on air. I mean, you know, one of the things that I always teach is that before you liquid cool your system, before you mount your water block, put everything all together, air test it. You know, put that stock Intel cooler that Intel graciously gave you in that CPU box and fire it up. Get a display. Make sure it works. The last thing you want to do is put all this together and something's DOA. Because that's just, you're like, oh, and then what's the problem?
Well, I mean, also, not to mention, that's a pretty good chance to see what your temps are air-cooled.
It's true.
And then go back and compare.
It definitely is. I mean, and that's what I did. Before I built my PC, I took everything, put it all in air coolers, stock air cooler cards. You know, I fired it up, did my benchmark, played some games with it. You know, just sitting on a piece of cardboard.
Yeah.
Test it out. Make sure it's going to work. You know, get your Windows installed and then say bye-bye for a little bit while you pull all the water blocks and do all your stuff.
Yep.
I mean, there's a lot of levels that a lot of people can do. I mean, if you want to go enthusiast, everything water blocked, or if you maybe just want to cool just the CPU, you have a lot of different levels that you can go through, and it's just a starting point for some. I mean, some people, like you said, like the question we had, if I'm going to start with an air cooler, that doesn't mean I got to stop there. I can always jump up and go to an AIO solution. I mean, we have our Water 3.0 RGB solutions.
Oh, yeah.
That will be a straightforward CPU cooler. Or if you want to go even extreme and jump into, like, you know, graphic card water blocks, like our transparent ASUS Strix blocks that we have here. We're very graciously, you know, pretty stoked. ASUS wanted to work with us for their new Strix line. And our water block here, just, it came out amazing. For the 1070,
it's
the
a
1080
gorgeous
Strix.
block. I really like it.
And you know, we got a lot more coming too with that. So that's a great question, and I do appreciate that. Thanks for the question. Now, with this ribbon cable, you know, just kind of just talking about it a little bit, it's definitely improved a lot. So I know a lot of you guys out there I've talked with personally, a lot of the people, this will be the cable you will want. If it's for our build, custom build, modding builds, you're gonna really like this cable. We'll have different varieties of this, so stay tuned for that as we have more of this. And of course, it will be available at Newegg.com here for the holiday season. Now, besides the riser cables, you know, getting the graphic card connected up, you know, make sure we got that good performance. Now we want to talk about the cooling side. Want to make sure, you know, what we build is gonna stay cool. And with our P3 system that we have over here, you know, we've decked it out. I mean, I got to say, I went a little crazy on it. What do you think?
Just a little bit, maybe.
Maybe just a
little.
little bit.
Little.
Now, a lot of people would say, you know, oh, all these loops and all this stuff, it's just going to be, you know, is that going to cause a temperature issue with my system? You could see that a little bit.
I can understand that question, yeah.
And I can understand people asking that question. You know, it's a common question I get.
Yep, it makes sense.
And a lot of it is just making sure you have proper water flow. No matter how much tube or loops that you have, it's that same diameter on the inside. As long as you have a pump and you're getting good water flow, you should see that reflected your temperatures as well.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, like you said, that kind of comes back to just whatever pump you choose. You got to make sure you have that flow rate. I mean, these D5s are amazing. I'm running one in my system. I have it out of the 5 speed controls. I think it's probably sitting there at around 3.
Yeah.
And I'm running it through a 280 mil radiator, CPU, 420 mil, and then a GPU. So, I mean, that's a whole lot of different bends, a whole lot of radiators and things to fill. And I was very impressed that it's going perfectly fine, no issues.
I mean, you know, same with me. I run a dual radiator setup at home, so a lot of people would think, you know, going through 2 radiators is taking a lot more force to push through versus just the tubing in long. But I mean, yeah, the D5 is great.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't even have to have it on the 5 setting to get, you know, the best flow out of it. Don't overwork your pump if you don't have to.
I actually, just for kicks, put it to 5, and I actually didn't like it there. I put it back to 4, and then I just eventually settled on 3. 3 was perfect, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be flowing like a crazy garden hose. That's not gonna make it
It's not going to do anything.
And you know, another thing too, you know, you can see ambient temperatures with liquid cooling. I mean, I can sit at 29 Celsius at home with windows going. 29. You know, and that's just, you can't really get any colder or you're going to create condensation. I mean, it's the best bang for your buck for what you can get cooling wise on that. And then of course, you know, being able to overclock, get that expansion, and being able to game for a long time. I mean, several hours. I mean, we played some games together.
Dude, hours on end.
And I mean,
I just mean, like, when you sit down after turning on your computer and you look at those monitoring temps and you see 29C just across the board, that's just, like you said, man, that's just a really
and I
great
mean,
feeling.
even under load, I mean, I don't see my GPU, it's not even gracing 50.
It's really fun to just put your hand behind the fans and notice that it's maybe lukewarm air coming out, if that.
I mean, most people's cards, like on the stock cooler, like just, you know, in Windows, just nothing, don't even run 50. But, you know, they've definitely improved it, I gotta say. You know, the coolers and everything have gotten great, but
they've gotten better, but
you got
still
that
not
extra
the same.
headroom. You know, being able, where do you want your graphics card to run? You want it to be floating at in the 40s or floating in the 70s? How long do you think that's gonna, you know, give you longevity-wise to keep your product running longer too?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, my card was on air cooling earlier, and I had no problems with it. I mean, I did notice there were sometimes on hotter days it might thermal throttle itself and it'd ramp itself back down. I never have to worry about that anymore. It doesn't matter if it's a hot day. I have 30 Celsius. We're worth a playroom, you know, I'm okay.
So another little thing that we offer is a cool little jumper. So this is everybody's liquid cooling tool. I love this. We've included this in our liquid cooling kits. We have a variety of different kit options. So if you know, you maybe having like, oh, how many fittings do I need, Anthony? You know, how much tubing do I need to buy? Don't worry about that. If you want to get into liquid cooling, we have a solution for you offering full kits. It comes with the tubing, the radiator, the pump, the water block, basically your foundation for doing a CPU cooled system. And then the best part about, you can expand from there. You want to add a GPU block, grab a couple extra fittings, grab another pack of tubing, you're good.
Yeah,
I mean, you have that option.
I think I've seen those kits in both soft tubing and hard tubing. So if you're not ready to take that jump over to hard tubing and do all the bending on your own, set it up with the soft tubing, especially if you're planning on upgrading later. I mean, why make all those bends if you're going to upgrade later and then have to redo the lines?
Absolutely,
well.
absolutely. And you know, that brings up a good point too. You know, if you're running a soft tube build now, and say you're like, oh dude, I want to go hard tube. All it is switching out the fittings. I mean, you're basically just switching out the fittings, buying a couple of parts, you can cut and make your little bends and stuff. And I mean, you can go then from something that was more soft tube where you have the tube, and you know, it's cool. Cool, it looks great. You know, the tube's clear for the most part, but you get a lot different, more clarity.
A different feel,
just a different feel with PETG. And it gives you a really cool look that you can't get with soft tubing.
Even with all of this, where you have all the crazy loops and bends, you can still tell it's hard tubing. It doesn't seem like that's just a bend caused naturally through the soft tubing.
Yeah, exactly. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our core P3 system here, and hey, let's fill it with some coolant.
Actually, before you do that, you want to give something away?
Yeah. Oh, that's a great idea.
All right.
Who wants to win something?
I want to win something. Yeah.
Right. I want to win something. So what do we got?
All right. So we're going to do the Ventus mouse.
All right, so we got the Ventus Z mouse. This is an RGB mouse. This is one of our latest mouses here from TTE Sports. And how do we want to give it away?
You want to do the numbers again? We might have to pick a different number set though.
What do we want to do?
All right, let's go from 20 to 40 this time.
20 to 40.
Yeah.
Okay, so for our people here in the audience, if you want to win this mouse, we'll point at you and you pick a number between 20 and 40. Anthony, my man here, will have the number in his head, and he's gonna promise not to. You keep the number. Don't you change the no favors. No favors.
For sure. Well, I mean, I do accept bribes, just so you guys know.
So yeah, if you guys want to win something, come sit on down right now. We're here.
Free stuff.
So all right, start with the gentleman right here. 33. Did he get it?
Sorry, man.
Gentleman in the back. 31.
Nope.
Next.
Sorry.
Oh, close.
Sorry.
27.
Nope.
21.
No.
Ooh, blackjack.
No.
No blackjack. You right there, sir. 23. Jordan.
Nope.
What? 24.
No, I'm sorry. Actually,
Who's the closest?
you two gentlemen were actually right above and beneath it. It was 32.
Okay, what?
So,
it was 32, so we had 33 and 34 right here, right?
33 and 31.
Oh, and
yeah, right above and right beneath. I mean, right above and right beneath it.
So who wins? I'm confused.
I don't know. They were right there.
What do I wanna do?
Are we going to do a tiebreaker here?
Tiebreaker, let's see.
Fight to the death?
No,
Okay,
we can't do that.
okay.
We can't do that. We're BlizzCon.
All right.
1 to 10. I got the number in my head.
All right.
7. Congratulations.
Nice. Here, go ahead and bring them around.
Yeah, you want to come on up over here. Watch out for my mess.
Never mind the mess. Don't worry
We got a
about
lot
it.
of stuff up here, man. So here, come on in the middle here. There you go.
All right.
Right over there, good? Good?
Yep.
Cool. Hey, thanks so much, man. Appreciate you coming by.
Congrats.
Enjoy the mouse, dude. Enjoy the mouse. All right, so we gave him some stuff away.
Yeah, we gave some stuff away. We still got some more stuff for later, but
Yeah.
I think we'll wait till a little
we
bit
got some more
later.
stuff. Yeah, that sounds
we'll
good.
wait
That
till a
sounds good.
But like you were saying, I think we're going to get around to filling up this guy.
I think so.
think
Now,
so. I'm
the
pretty
question
excited.
is, what should we put in it? I mean, do we want to go green? No, green wouldn't look good.
No.
Red.
That's
Everybody's
my
going to
color.
be
That's my
what?
color.
You're stupid not to
Red
put red
on
in
red.
it.
Yeah, I guess.
Well, you know, I got a little.
I'm pretty used to seeing red, man.
I got a little something special.
All right.
I got a little something special. So we've come out with these 7 colors here of the Opaque Coolant, and we wanted to introduce something a little different, something that not everybody sees, you know, day in and day out on the liquid cooling side. So I'd like to introduce here for the first time our new C100 Black. So this is a black coolant color that has long-term use. This coolant can be used just like the rest of the other colors, but it comes in a nice black. I mean, this We looked
Yeah.
at lots of different ways to get a black. And I think it's going to fit perfect here with our core
Where
features.
it's
What do you guys think?
Black.
You guys want to see the black
You
in
know,
here?
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is, let's get a squeeze bottle up here.
Here we
Get some
go.
paper towels.
Always have paper towels. Very important.
A liquid cooler's friend, always. So with our coolant, we'll have a squeeze bottle. This is a standard squeeze bottle. You can pick this up for a couple of bucks. World of a difference here, because a lot of these, people are using syringes sometimes, and it's a real small quantity, so you're just going over and over and over again. Pain in the butt. People do the little drain thing, and they pour in the top.
Yeah, that squeeze bottle is a lifesaver. It really
This
is.
right here actually works as two different
I was
tools.
just about to say, yeah, it works both ways.
I can take this squeeze bottle filled with a coolant. I can take my little plug off the top right here, and then I can put this down in here and squeeze it right in. Very quick, simple, and clean. Now, when I'm all done, I've used my system for a while, I want to do maintenance on it. Real quick and easy, pull the straw out, flip it around, and now you've created a suction. So now I can take this and I can squeeze this bottle, and then I can stick it down, all the way down to the bottom, even though they're longer reservoirs, and then suck the coolant out. Gravity will be your friend, bringing all this down. Tilt the system left and right a little bit, and then it will give you the majority of the coolant. You can get almost all of it out.
Yeah, that kind of comes back to even like how we were talking about earlier for my system. My graphics card comes back and just returns back into the reservoir. But if I fully just drain out my reservoir, it'll finish draining out that line right there. I can then detach it, just hover it over a bucket, and just fully flush the system that way.
Yeah.
It makes it very, very convenient.
And then the great thing too is that once you get the majority of the stuff out of your blocks and your tubing and your reservoir, just take your radiator here, there's a plug on the bottom, take the drain out of that, boom. You get almost 90% out, or more than that, I would say. So here's our new black. Nice, spilled on purpose. Did I tell you?
Yeah, just show off its ink.
So a little bit of, just kind of a test. I mean, we did this before, because a lot of blacks you'll see will have a blue in it, or a purple in it. And I mean, you can see this is gray. This is black. We wanted to make it black, period.
Yes.
So that way we could offer somebody, something different that you don't normally see out there in the market.
Well,
so,
just because it looks a little weird. I mean, if you're going for that maybe full, just black and white theme right there, and then you kind of see the coolant, it looks a little purple. It doesn't look right.
It looks almost like pen ink.
It looks
like
off.
like you took like a liquid pen. So what we're going to do, this is our reservoir, and we're going to start filling this up here first. This is where everything is going to start. And then with that, we take our jumper here to be able to jumper the 24 pin off of the power supply instead of having power going to the motherboard. This will allow you then to be able to power only the pump, so that way if there is an issue with a leak, you're safe. You have no power going through your system. If there is a catastrophic problem that can happen, which likely it won't, but if you did have an issue, there's no power running through the circuits. Same with the graphics card in the same boat. If you do have something, this is a lifesaver. Don't use a paperclip, folks. Don't follow the paperclip. This is 2016. Get the little jumper clips. We include them in a lot of our kits, and they're actually pretty easy to find.
It makes life really easy, but also, Mike, something we've also talked about before. Now, we've tested this system. We know it's all good. But
we have?
Maybe. But if this is something where you're doing it for the first time, like you said, power is off to everything, but if you feel that there may be a fitting that might leak, is there something that we should do from there?
Yeah, so
that we talked about before?
A little bit. Now, before we get into actually filling the coolant, again, with the paper towels, they can be a real good friend to you, not just as an indication of something that could be leaking, but also help protect and prevent issues as well. Because, I mean, it's white. I mean, we're using black coolant. It's going to be pretty obvious if the black is going to spill onto this white piece of paper. So a lot of times you can take this paper and just kind of tuck it up under here, just to kind of get it as a little bit of a secure thing. A lot of people might take it. I mean, we got our Intel SSD PCIe. I mean, this is the 800 gig PCIe 4X SSD. This thing's amazing. You don't want to spill coolant all over it, right?
Awesome SSD, yeah.
So taking just a little bit of paper towel, putting that under there, will be able to give you an indication that you might have a problem, and then at the same time, there's no power going to anything. So if you do have a little bit of a spill, everything should be fine for the most part, because the coolant, of course, it's non-conductive.
Yeah, you clean it off, dry it up, you're all set.
Too much of a problem. I mean, a lot of this, people will take these and they'll kind of wrap them like this and just do stuff, because you'll see an indication of a leak. Yeah, I mean, there's different ways you can do it. Do you have to do it? No, you don't have to.
But it gives you that peace of mind, so that if you're still nervous, you feel like you don't know if for sure everything's in there perfectly, you can do that. If it all is okay, you're fine. You know, if it's not, then you'll see it there first.
So are we ready to fill this?
I think so.
I think we're ready. You guys ready?
Let's get going.
So we'll go ahead and we'll start putting the black in here into our case. Now, one of the neat things about black is that you can buy black tubing, but you can't get that black in the reservoir. You can't get that look of having black flowing. And I mean, as you see, as I mix this up, you'll see gravity doing its work over here. You'll see that I'm filling up the reservoir at this time. And while I'm doing this, I'm checking this. Am I having any leaks right here? You know, am I getting any signs of, you know, an early problem? Making sure all of my fitting, my compression fittings are all tight while I'm, before I put all this in. Of course, you know, we did check before.
Yeah.
So we'll go ahead and we'll fill this up because, you know, it'll make it easier for us on the second time. And then before you turn it on, one thing is real easy to do is just take the ball, it's filled up again, so we have it ready. So put some more black in here. Oh man, this is gonna look so cool. I've been waiting to put this in here.
I know, I've been bugging you a lot about seeing a system with the black coolant, so.
I mean, this is like some of our early sample stuff. I haven't even gotten to use it that much, let alone putting it in a system. I've been so excited. So it's kind of a thing for me too.
It's always fun seeing cool stuff. So
now that we got, so you can see the black's kind of filled, you got the same kind of level. It's gravity, right? Science. So with all this, now what we're going to do is we have our jumper that's right here.
Jumper's up front.
Now I have my 24 pin that's plugged in right here. So what I'll do is I'll just take this out, pull this out. So just kind of hanging loose. Now my system's off. My power supply switch is off. I made sure of that beforehand. At least I hope I did. We'll see right now. Okay, so our system's off, and I plug this in. What this does is it does the same thing as pushing the button on the case, but everything's off except for the power supply connections. Now, since the 24 pin's not plugged into the motherboard, there's no power going to this side, but I have a Molex connection going to the pump. So I'll take my Molex connection off my pump and my Molex connection off my power supply, and we'll plug this in, because again, it's off. And now that we have this all plugged in, all I got to do is flip the switch on the power supply to start my coolant flow. And while we're doing that, we'll take the squeeze bottle and we'll refill it to kind of speed up the process here a little bit. Taking a couple of turns doing it, but let's just get that first push. You guys ready? See it go down into the water block. And then see, I shut it off right here, right before it got down to the bottom, because I don't want my pump to run dry. But you can kind of see we got a little bit moving up here. And we'll just kind of fill this back up, flip our switch.
This really is my favorite part.
This is my favorite part. Being able to see that flow up there. I didn't even get to see it. I'm bummed.
you do all of that work to put it all together.
Do we have any leaks? Leaks? Did anybody see any leaks?
Anything?
Oh, we're good. We look good.
Yeah, I mean, being able to just watch it fill up for that first time after doing all that work, it really is satisfying.
Oh, man, I tell you. So we'll go ahead and we'll shut this off. Let's get some more coolant in here. Looks like, so right now we're filling the radiator. That's where it's all going, folks. Just so everybody can kind of see. I mean, I'm looking at this. We're always good. Triple O-ring design. I tell you, it is a lifesaver. Don't get an adapter fitting. Don't deal with cheap fittings that have only 2 O-rings. Get a compression fitting. Where are they? Get a compression fitting that has a sleeve and 3 O-rings. It will be a lifesaver for you, and you'll feel more confident about your build. I mean, I got to be honest, I've not run any coolant in this. This was completely dry, first time system. So,
All right.
I kind of manage the product, so I got to trust the product, right?
Yeah, helps out.
Oh, this black looks so good. Try not to spill. It's actually oil. I just tricking everybody with a fake label.
Ran out, just grab some car oil really quick. Some used oil, just did an oil change this morning.
Well, I got some ink on me. And you can see too, this is like a white gray bubble. This does not have a blue base to it. It doesn't have a purple base to it. Because I know a lot of people that are like me, that are into paint and stuff, to get a true black, you have to have a blue base almost all the time. But we've come out with a solution to be able to offer that rich black without it being anything but black. So go ahead and we'll turn our system on here. Again, you'll notice the motherboard's not running. Oh, we haven't gotten here yet. Almost.
Nope. Generally takes a good little bit amount of coolant.
Well, we got a high capacity radiator here because we want to make sure we're going to be able to properly cool our ASUS Strix 1080 and of course our CPU. And our wonderful ASUS Extreme 8 Formula motherboard. I mean, big props and shout outs to ASUS again for supporting us on the build. So we got this here. Let's go. Oh man, I know it's coming. It's coming. It's got to be soon. Oh, there it is.
There we go. Nice.
And just getting that little trickle out. Now you'll see it in the beginning as the coolant's kind of coming out of the system, where it's kind of just going down a water slide a little bit. And then once you get everything kind of picking up, see it's going down more. See, there it goes. There's the air pocket. That was basically a lot of that air bubble that was coming out. And now we have a return going back into the reservoir. So with that return going back into the reservoir, we're now safe to keep the system running. And we just want to look right now at all the fittings and all the parts and just make sure we don't got any leaks. I mean, can't really see too much over here, but it's really cool. You guys get a close up of here, you can see the black coolant moving through the water block. I mean, it's why we do this stuff. It's why we offer this stuff for you guys to have something really, really cool. So let's get her topped off here. I'm gonna have to ask for more samples.
Definitely. And I gotta say, with this black coolant, I love the lack of micro bubbles. That's actually something I had when I first put together my system. And I remember I was freaking out for a little bit. I'm like, should it look like an aquarium at this point?
Yeah.
Where there's micro bubbles everywhere.
You still get a little bit of bubbles that will be in the system, and it's perfectly fine. It's gonna go away over time. I mean, you give it an hour. Let the system run for a while. Continue to leak test it. Do whatever you need to do to be comfortable with it before you apply power to your motherboard. Because again, like I said, the only thing that's running is these fans and the pump, basically.
That GPU, it just looks gorgeous.
Well, the SSD in the back's mad at us because it's trying to boot the Windows, and it's like, dude, what's going on? There's no connection. No connection.
It just wishes it was cool.
So as you can see, all the little gray bubbles that are in here, in the reservoir and stuff, this will all go away over time. I mean, come check back here, we'll have this, will probably be gone in about 15 minutes or so. Still get a little bit of bubbles that are coming up through the system. You'll see some up here that you'll get a little bit of bubbles there too. It's perfectly fine. Just relax, let it go, let it flow for a while, and everything should start to settle down. And it's always good. I still have the plug off the cap, and it's real important. You want to let all that air come out, it's got to go somewhere. So keeping that plug off and using a solution like this makes it real easy for you to be able to get the coolant running in there. And I mean, I got to say that black looks awesome.
I love it. I think it looks great.
So let's go ahead and so we'll shut this off. I'll take our 24 pin out. We'll take our plug here. And then, I want to mention too, this is a sleeve extension. So we offer extensions in multi-colors, and they come with cable combs. I went with the red and the black, of course, for this build, because man, it looks awesome. And you can see all the bubbles here and everything? Perfectly normal. This is gonna go away over time, and after a couple of days, even when you shut the system off, it's just gonna be all black. You won't see these bubbles anymore once everything kind of just works through the loop and making sure everything works through. So now that I have all this stuff all set up here, I plugged our 24 pin back in. We got our pump plugged in back here. Let's go ahead, where are the switches? We'll turn our system on. So now we've fired up our system for the first time. This is running through the black coolant. You see a lot of those little bubbles will kind of fade out. A lot of this stuff will just kind of go away over time. But other than that, we're real happy with it. I mean, we got no leaks. We got good flow here. I mean, I can see the flow going through here, and especially here in the front of the GPU. I mean, that just looks, that's why we do it, folks. I mean, it just gives such a cool look to be able to see something like that flowing all the time right in your face. Every day you get to stare at that and game with that too.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool because when you get close, you can actually see the black moving. That's really neat.
But yeah, you can't get any other look like that unless you have black coolant, no matter what. And we want to bring this to you guys. And then, just to show you too, This is our TT Premium fans. We got some fans to give away?
Just gave,
Or-
no, we
oh,
gave
already
those away first.
Already gave
Yeah,
those
yeah.
away. Do we have another giveaway?
We have one last giveaway, and I gotta say, I
Oh,
saved
wow.
one of the best for last.
Ooh.
Poseidon Z RGB keyboard.
So this
I
is
have
our
one of these at
new-
home. They're awesome.
This is our blue switch model. So this is for the guys looking for the real extra click. This is the extra click, right? I mean, your wife's gonna love you gaming on this thing. But it also gives a really cool feel. I mean, there's a lot of people out there that like, either a real clicky option, especially with mechanical
That's
keyboard.
me. That's
Yeah,
me.
I know. So, and this is also our RGB version. So every key can be a different color.
Yep.
You can do patterns with it. We've updated our software, more features are available, and of course, this is available here at Newegg.com with our TT Esports Poseidon Z RGB keyboard. So let's do something a little different for the
All
giveaway.
right, all right. What do you want to do?
What do we want to do? What do we want to do for the giveaway for the keyboard? Do we want to see how much money everybody has in their wallet?
Yeah, totally.
How about? Got any ideas? Any ideas?
No,
What can I do for a
not
giveaway?
that I can
A
think
trivia
of.
question. You got one? Oh, okay. Oh, wow. Okay. All right, so we're going to have a trivia question for everybody. The question, of course, comes from our wonderful Newegg team here. When was Newegg founded? What year? You don't need the date or the month, just the year. We'll just do year.
No, I want the day and the month.
Oh, okay. But what year was Newegg founded? The faster you pull out your phone and look.
There
No,
we go.
no.
Smartphones.
All right. 97. No.
Nope. Shot. Oh, we got it. Got someone over there.
Nope.
No.
92. No.
We
Right.
got it. Winner. Quick on the phone. Go ahead and come on down.
Right, man. You want to come around here real quick? We'll get a picture. Get some of this junk out of the way. Here you go, man. Hey, come on over here. Come on over here, Mark. Get you in right here. All right. Give me the camera right over here.
All right. Cool.
Right back there. We got it? Good? Oh, right here, right here.
Oh.
Cool. Hey, man, thanks so much. Appreciate it. Enjoy BlizzCon, bro.
He's all hidden back there. I didn't see him.
Huh?
I didn't see him back there.
Right on. So,
All right.
Thermal Take, we have the products available here at Newegg.com. Again, big shout out to our sponsors, Intel, ASUS, Newegg,
Newegg.
ABS, Thermal Take.
Thermal take.
I mean, we really appreciate you guys coming out here for BlizzCon 2016 for you guys at home and for you guys here at the event. So we're going to jump on over, close on out here with the boss man.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Hey, we really
All
appreciate
right,
it.
let's hear it. Let's give a hand to Mike, Thermal Take Mike, and everybody for. I got to say, it's the first time that I've ever seen liquid get put into a liquid cooling machine. That is so cool, and that black looks beautiful. But it's kind of fun. I didn't realize that you could just turn it in, put it in, turn it off, add some more. So I always wondered how they got that all filled up. Now I know.
It's
Looks-
one of my favorite things
Yeah, I
about
can
doing this, is
imagine.
getting that first look at that stuff, and we wanted to show that.
Yeah.
It's similar to when you first put together a PC and then hit that
Yeah,
power
yeah.
button
Yep.
and just watch all the fans spin up.
RGBs start
Yeah.
flashing.
Yep.
And, yeah.
Everything starts lighting
So
up.
really nice job.
Yeah. Thanks.
So I'd like to, anybody here wants to come up and get a closer look, why don't you kind of go ahead and come up and take a closer look. We've got a few, does anybody have any questions about anything? Everybody's all set. All right. Well, thanks very much for coming out and come up and take a closer look at this beautiful machine.
And we'll be here too if you guys have any questions after the show. All right, thanks so much, guys. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.